Working Man's Radio. I'm your host, Mike Chasner. I'm here with up-and-coming band here in Atlanta, Stokeswood. I'm here at their recording studio in Atlanta, and we're here to talk to them about what they've got going on. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic, sir. How are you?
Wonderful.
Doing awesome. Doing great. So happy to be here and grateful for the opportunity to interview you guys.
No, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I just want to start off. I know you guys got a lot going on in Stokeswood. It's a real busy time for you guys in December. You guys got a lot of great shows going on. Big shows coming up at the end of the month for New Year's. First off, just want to start off with the band. Tell us about the band. Tell us about Stokeswood. How you guys came up with the name Stokeswood.
All right.
What's going on with you guys?
Well, my name's Mark, and I play guitar in the band. And my friend Adam here is the singer, and we started the project more years ago than I can count. Just kind of as an acoustic thing, and we toured for probably a good 2 or 3 years just as the two of us. And then we kind of started filling out the band, and we've gone through, a baker's dozen of band members. But right now, with the band that we're set at right now, Michael, the keyboard player, who's in the studio also, he is the latest addition, and he's right about 2 years now.
Okay.
So the music that we're doing is kind of about 2 or 3 years old, but the project itself, 6 to 7. So
right on. So you guys, the band now is a 5-piece band. You guys got 5 members in the band.
Yep.
What do the instruments consist of in the band? You guys have 2 piano players. Is that correct? So you have an organ.
Well, it's funny you asked that. I mean, so we all play at almost everything in the band. The singer plays guitar and synth. The guitar player plays guitar and synth. I play synth.
3 synths.
3 synths. The guitar player is running his guitar through a synth engine pedal. It's a rolling synth engine. And then the guy who was technically the bass player actually produced the first 2 records, joined the band that way. And he also plays synth and then runs a thing called the Native Instrument Machines. Pretty Lights has been using it here lately, but Justin's been using it for like the past 3 years to help us with the electronic edge. So pretty much everyone's running synth. Even the drummer has a synth pad back there.
Yep.
So
that's what we're finding a lot today. Bands are multi-talented. They can play multiple different instruments. That's awesome. You guys, let's get into the tour life. I know you guys are on tour a lot. Stokeswood, you guys have a huge buzz in the Southeast. I know you guys tour in Florida a lot. You guys tour in North Carolina. You guys go a lot north. You go south. Tell me about the tour life. How's tour life going for you guys? Where you guys been playing? I know you guys had a show recently in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, that was great. Jacksonville is kind of a new market for us. Pretty much the past 2 years, we've just been slowly developing it, and I think it's finally catching on down there. But strictly East Coast for now. We haven't gone farther west than Austin, Texas.
Okay.
We did South by out there. But, strong markets being Atlanta and Miami's been really good to us as well over the years. And Tampa is like testament to hard work paying off because 2 years ago we were going into Tampa and we were playing a small brewery for probably like 10 people, and now we're playing like the best mid-level venue in there and getting a few hundred people in the door just strictly on our name. So hard work does pay off.
Yeah, when we started, we were doing like bookends. We would go Atlanta like right to Miami, and we started thinking like, well, let's be smart about it, and it started hitting some of these in betweens, and now it's the in betweens that are starting to really build up too. Like Atlanta and Miami have always been there, but now the in-betweens are starting to fill in really, really nicely.
Touring is not for everybody.
Yeah,
and
definitely. There's
even been members of this band and then members of my previous bands that couldn't even make it to touring because the lifestyle is hard.
Sure.
I mean, there is no privacy. You're with 4 or 5 other guys. If you have a crew member, another guy. You're sleeping in beds with these dudes.
Right. On floors.
You're sleeping on floors. You go through everything together, and also, being a musician and being an artist is hard in and of itself. It's fun to have people on the road and it makes touring fun, but it's not for everybody, but it is for Stokeswood, and we have a great time on the road. That's part of why we're able to do this so successfully, is hanging out with fans and being at shows and stuff. That's what we want to do as a band.
That's what we're doing here. We're building a big community of jam band fans, and love what you guys are doing. I think that you guys are growing families all around the world. Little pockets that are loving Stokeswood. They're loving that energy, and then what's going on now is you guys are starting to have bigger and bigger shows where you're starting to have bigger venues. Now you're playing at the bigger venues, and that's what I kind of want to get into is, what venues you guys been playing, some big shows.
We've done a lot of festivals here in the past couple years. We were very honored to be a part of the inaugural Counterpoint Music Fest, which was a big EDM fest here in Atlanta.
We just announced we'll be playing again is the Aura Music Festival.
Aura, that's a great music festival. You guys were playing there this year.
We played there last year. We're doing this.
We're doing 2 sets this year.
Two sets here. We're doing an all Hall & Oates cover set.
Aura
Music Festival.
Huge opportunity for you guys.
Aura has been so good to us, the whole Aura family. They got us on tour with Papadozio earlier this year and exposed us to a whole new group of fans. And
you talk about playing bigger venues. When we hit that stretch with Papadozio, that was like nice.
A real nice
really
step
good
up,
rooms,
playing 500 caps, and their fans. You shout out to Papadozio fans out there because their fans are some of the most dedicated, awesome, down to earth, genuinely love music people.
And just wide open musically, just wide open.
Just want to hear it and want to enjoy it. And when we walked on stage the first night, and Adam goes, we're not Papadozio, right? Because everybody just lost their mind. It's like, oh, okay. All right, this is how it's going to be. All right, y'all haven't even heard us yet. So it's pretty awesome. And so the bigger venues we're getting into now, there's a place called The Stage in Miami, and that's a pretty big-sized room. But here in Atlanta, we just moved into Terminal West. We've got a show this Saturday coming up. I know we've talked about that briefly, but
we definitely want to talk about that. Are you guys excited? I know this is your second time playing Terminal West.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
You guys are stoked, awesome. I'm sure.
We really love what they've done with that room. They've taken a space that can hold, I think the cap is like 600 there, 625, something like that. They've taken a relatively small space and just thrown all the production possible that could fit into the room. The sound is top notch. The lighting is impeccable. The staff is great. And it's still, and that's the thing. It's like you get that big giant amphitheater show with like a few amount of people.
We just played Rumbello Music Festival, which was a cruise put on by a group called Six Men. They're a company here in Atlanta. But you cruise Miami to Bahamas. Michael Franti was a headliner. It was G-Love and Special Sauce and Revolution.
Cruise fests are always amazing. What a great time to get intimate with your fans. I mean, because you're out walking on that ship, right?
You don't get closer than if
we worked that boat. It was like running for office. We were out there shaking hands and kissing babies.
That's right. Running around that like you're the mayor of that boat. And everywhere you went, everyone knew who you were. And you're building that family. You're building that love.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
So you guys have been on tour now. You said together the band's been playing now as the five now, the core guys now, for a couple years. Out of the couple years you guys have been playing, what's your favorite place you guys have played at, in the last couple years? I mean, I know that's probably a tough question, but you guys probably sit around and you say, I love playing at this place, or I'm really looking forward to playing this show.
That's a good question.
All right, Georgia Theater is definitely a huge checklist.
I like the theater.
We opened up for P Groove earlier this year.
And
then
George Theater, I love it when they first opened back up with that SDS 9 show, and then ever since, they just had.
They're killing it up there.
They have great shows up there for sure. They bring all the best bands.
I like the stage, but only because Evan's there.
The stage in Miami.
I like the stage.
That's a shout out to the sound guy.
Evan is my boy. I look forward to that. I look forward to him being a sound guy, and not so happy when he's not going to be the sound guy.
What's your favorite venue, Mark?
Man, I don't know. My mind went to the best show of the past couple years as opposed to what venue I like playing, and that was on the ship. So we had 3 sets on the ship, and so we had the very first show of the entire festival, when everyone was kind of boarding, so that didn't really rage, but everybody got to kind of see as soon as you got on the ship, you knew what Stokeswood was kind of doing. We were the black sheep musically of the festival,
right,
as we normally are. So the next day we played that night in Spinnaker Lounge, which is historically, sorry, my phone is not on silent, historically the hardest venue on the ship to get people into, and
it's not, people don't walk by there. It's in
the bow, so it's like the nightclub of the thing. And so we were there, and there was not that many people in there for the band before us, unfortunately, because they were amazing. And then there's a half-hour changeover. 10 minutes before we're supposed to start our set, I mean, the place is wall-to-wall stacked with people. About 450 people shoved into this tiny little nightclub on the ship. And as soon as we hit, and the lights came down, they hadn't done production the entire festival. The lights came down, strobes went up, and it was the coolest show that we've played in the past couple of years, for me anyway. The energy was just
Yeah, it's awesome. It's got to be amazing being up there on stage and putting that energy out and looking out into the crowd and seeing all your fans dancing and laughing and loving life and high-fiving.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was
and
actually
Michael Franti's standing dead center.
Yeah, dancing around singing. It's like that's pretty crazy to see.
Oh yeah,
like, we're all music fans too. People kind of forget that they see us on stage. I mean, we all have our own favorite bands and stuff.
100%, man.
I still gush for sure.
I also wanted to talk to you guys about, I'm sure you guys sit around in the studio and you think about upcoming shows and places you might want to play. Is there a place out there you haven't played yet that you guys are real excited about playing? You know, you guys are like, oh man, it would be awesome to play the Fox Theater. It would be awesome, you know, is there a place you guys are...
Red Rocks.
Red Rocks. You guys want to match
That's on every musician's bucket list.
Red Rocks for sure. There's no question, man. It's just...
Well, there's nowhere in the world where the acoustics are as magical as Red Rocks. Definitely. I went out there this past year. I went in August for a month to Colorado, and I spent a few days, and I got to see Pretty Lights out there in August, and that was just amazing, mind-blowing. So
it was awesome with the lights in there.
It was incredible. So the light show, part of your show is the lights, because you guys, just real quick, I know we've been talking for a little while, you guys do EDM, you guys do jam. Tell me a little bit about, the music, the sound.
And there's the stumper. We don't know how to describe our music. We've tried making up words and stuff like that.
So we go with low indie rock to play on indie rock, but it's got so much bass in it that it's low end, so it's low indie rock.
But there's a lot of influence from rock and roll.
And jam as well.
And lots of jam influence. A lot of these jam bands these days, some jam bands, they have just their set songs. Some jam bands are into that, their improv.
I feel like we live within the 4 or 5 minutes. Like everything is laid out.
We don't improv on stage.
Yeah. Okay. And play the music. Pretty much every note is completely orchestrated and practiced down to the bone, and it gives like a nice bed and allows Adam to just go off the handle vocally. So a lot of the improv kind of comes with like melody lines, melody being king. Especially in our band.
We're huge fans of the Talking Heads. That's probably our band's favorite band. Last year for Halloween, we did a tribute set. We did the whole Stop Making Sense.
Yeah, I saw that in the interview. That you guys, that's kind of like a collective influence of the band.
And we'll jam on that stuff.
Right.
Break into Slippery People, you might hear a 2-minute jam. Because, we love it. And Nimble Slick, our booking agency out of Athens, was founded around Perpetual Groove. They're very much in the jam scene and have put us with... As we tour, I'd say 60% has been with the jam scene.
Absolutely.
And we love that because, man, that's some of the stuff. We grew up listening to Fish and Dave. And
I love Festy Kids. I was a Festy Kid.
Festy Kids.
For that, so to be on the other side of that now, but still be able to be in it, and that's our job. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working this weekend. But what are you doing? I'm going to a festival and playing it. It's like what? Yeah.
So you guys are doing it. You guys are blowing up in the Southeast. You guys are doing big things, and we're excited to have you here on the show. You got a big show, which is why we brought you here on the station. Wanted to interview you for Saturday, December 7th. You're playing at Terminal West.
Yep.
One of the best venues here in Atlanta. I know this is your second time playing there. You guys looking forward to the show? Can you guys talk about the benefit that's going on? Do you guys know anything about the benefit?
Yeah. It's a benefit to benefit a charity called We're Here For You, and their main purpose is to provide all the music venues with earplugs, and so it's noise-induced hearing losses, like what they're trying to save, essentially. And so it's a really great thing, and it's very important to protect ours, or else you won't be able to hear our music later on in life.
100%. I love that. Well, we're looking forward to Terminal West. Tickets are still available. It's going to be a great show here in Atlanta. All ages at T West. Go down on Saturday night. Also, just real quick, want to talk about New Year's. Yeah. Everyone's excited about New Year's. New Year's is coming up. What's going on New Year's? Want to highlight what y'all are doing for New Year's? Y'all playing here in Atlanta?
We are. Downtown Countdown.
Downtown Countdown
at the Hyatt.
At the Hyatt.
Mm-hmm. We're excited. We have been on the road the past 3 years. We did. So 3 years ago, we did Montreal for New Year's Eve, and then the past 2 years, we've done Miami for New Year's Eve. So it's fine. It's great to finally be home and be playing the Southeast's largest balloon drop.
Yeah, that's New Year's is great energy. Everyone's out having fun. And you guys got a good time spot, right?
Yeah,
you guys
right before the drop.
Right before the drop, man. That's when
45.
everyone's going to be, that energy is going to be the highest, and
Yeah.
people are going to be looking for the good music, and then you guys are going to come on, and people are going to be blown away. They're gonna be like, who is this new sound?
We're
Have we ever
excited.
played a ballroom before? Will this be our first ballroom? The Grand Ballroom?
Yeah,
think so,
If
yeah.
you don't count Highline in New York, which it doesn't
No,
count.
no.
For the 8 people that were there, which will not
We
be the
thank
same
you.
8 people being at the show. Yeah,
I saw him
let's
after
all
that
forget.
whole-
Oh man,
On
which
stage.
plays on that whole question you were asking us about touring. We it is an awesome, fun thing, but I have lots of friends that'll be like, "Oh man, you guys are on tour. That's awesome!" And they'll see the pictures from the one show where we had a festival slot. They don't know about the next day when we drove to Providence, Rhode Island for our first time and played a small room. And that's
people.
cool. And it's cool. That's what we're doing. We'll be back, and there'll be
Right.
10 people there, or we'll be back and we'll get 20. But man, when you're not playing, when you're doing this independently and you're not playing the major label or the major radio game, you really have to grind out every single fan, and it's a blessing to be able to do it. We're really happy to do that.
All the listeners out there, if you want to tune in or if you want to dial in to Stokeswood, you can check them out on Facebook. Stokeswood's on Facebook. You can also check them out at stokeswood.net. Any other ways you guys can be checked out?
Every social media outlet possible.
And definitely make it out on Saturday night to Terminal West. Check out Stokeswood. We appreciate you guys' time here at Workman's
Thank you.
Radio. Thank you very much.
Have you been out drinking tonight? No worries. Now you can take Mark's magic carpet ride. Climb aboard this cozy rug to be whisked home with the quickness. Next time you're out and about in need of a ride, call the most magical service of them all. If all carpets are booked, call Safe Ride America. We'll drive you and your car home for less than the price of a taxi. Call us at 404-888-0887 or go to callsaferide.com. Have you been out drinking tonight? No worries. Now you can take Mark's magic carpet ride. Climb aboard this cozy rug to be whisked home with the quickness. Next time you're out and about in need of a ride, call the most magical service of them all. If all carpets are booked, call Safe Ride America. We'll drive you and your car home for less than the price of a taxi. Call us at 404-888-0887 or go to callsaferide.com.